You know how they say that cats have 9 lives? I feel like my soul is very much like a cat. And the one thing that helped me every single time to pick myself up after I felt like my soul was shattered or my heart was broken was Kung Fu. I'm going to share with you in this video today how Kung Fu didn't just help me physically, but it helped me emotionally and spiritually to get through some of the hardest times of my life. Hi, my name is Martin, and I made it my purpose to share with you here openly and authentically, unapologetically, without holding back. I'm going to share with you my life lessons, my experiences, my learnings. So, with the hope that I inspire you to take charge of your own life, to live a self led life, and to really don't give a flying F about what other people think, but where you are proud of the legacy that you are building. So, Kung Fu, it's one of the things that I love the most. It fulfills me, it is so much fun, and it's incredibly difficult, and it's incredibly exhausting. The thing is, I started with that very much in my youth. And it was basically like a time where I just felt lost. I was in love, I was rejected, I really didn't know who the fuck I was at the age of 17. And I guess you know what I'm talking about. Like, who knows who they are when they're 17? I didn't. I didn't for a very long time. Like, even nowadays, almost 20 years later, well, 18 years later, I still learn so much about myself every single day. Every time I go through a difficult time, but also when I have something that is amazing and like some kind of success. I learn so many new things about myself every single day. And one of the things that helped me with that, like creating that kind of mindset, was Kung Fu. I started with Wing Chun, and I know I'm butchering that name. I've always butchered it since I started. But I started when I was 17, and it really showed me like that there is something within me that is stronger than I would have ever known if I hadn't started. The rejection that I received in friendships, the bullying that I went through, the heartbreak that I went through, it was all around the age of 16, 17, 18. There's so many things that happened. Like the bullying, it was so painful. And it was because of my sexuality. People, I wasn't even like accepting that part of myself yet. But other people called me gay. They were like, oh, we don't hang out with faggots. Like, those are the things people were telling me. And it was devastating. It was devastating to experience that because all I've ever wanted, and it really started early on in my youth, all I ever wanted was to support people, to help them, to connect with them. Like friends, when I was in like 14, 15, people always came to me asking for like some kind of advice, some kind of like to help them go through difficult situations. Even when I was like 16, I got rejected for the first time by a girl. And I was like, that sucks. That hurts. And then people came to me and asked me for relationship advice. And they told me, oh my God, you would be such a perfect boyfriend. And I'm like, great. I'm the only one here single, always getting rejected. But okay, thank you. And through those experiences where I was a lot of times rejected and bullied, even though I had a few friends But even from them, some of them I'm not, or most of them I'm not friends with anymore. They, like the way they treated me, calling me like, oh, on a school, like on a school grade system, the way I look would be like a 4- out of 5, which 4- is like one of almost the worst, and calling themselves like on a 1. Those people I thought were my friends. I mean, they were either radically honest or they were just mean. And the thing is, when I started with Kung Fu, I for the first time felt like I'm good at this. I'm really good at this. Okay, I'm lying. I'm not. It's not the first time. Like with sports, like with handball, European handball, not the U.S. version. European handball and the drums. I also was very, very good. But this was something different. This was something that didn't just train me physically, but it really trained me spiritually and mentally and emotionally. It, like, there's something to it. I can't even explain it in words, that made me look at myself in a different way, where it was like, okay, from the outside, I might look like a little thin, or like my shaggy hair. Back in the day, I had like shaggy hair. I might look like, a weirdo kind of, but a nice, kind, loving weirdo. I'm saying that with a lot of love from to my past self, because I went through some phases of my life. It's just, I had to experience all that. But I love my past self, because without my past self, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be wearing this shirt, which is like my Kung Fu shirt, my Kung Fu sweater. And I wouldn't be here if I hadn't started when I was that age. Because even though physically I was like way different and insecure, and like I judged myself for a long time about the way I looked, but that was like for me the starting point where I connected to myself, to my true self, and said, there are like kind of invisible boundaries in my life, and I'm able to, by practicing, I can expand those boundaries. Even now, like I switched from Wing Chun to Shaolin Kung Fu. And Shaolin Kung Fu has been like one of my passions. I think it was like Jackie Chan and like other actors who trained in that art, and I loved it. Like I just loved it. So when I moved to Berlin, I was able to finally train Shaolin Kung Fu myself, and that again changed my life once more. It really, like the community, the spirit, the mindset behind it is not that you want to fight, that you need to be strong and all that kind of stuff, but to really find your center, to be at peace with yourself and strengthen your mind through strengthening your body. I remember a few years ago, in 2017, 16 or 17, like two things happened at the same time. Like the same day, two really terrible things happened. And the first thing I did, I picked up the phone, I called the Kung Fu place, the Kung Fu temple that I train at in Berlin, and I wanted to ask if they're open. It was a Sunday. I knew it was closed, but I just wanted to I just wanted to go there. And I just had hope that someone was there, even though it was a Sunday, that I could go there and even pay for like a private lesson or whatever, but just be there in that environment. It was unfortunately closed, but the next day I went there, and I went there pretty much like multiple times a week, sometimes even every day. And it really, really, really helped me to focus on myself, to lift myself up, because every day I go there, I learn something new. I go beyond what I thought was possible before. I expand my, not just my comfort zone, but what I really set myself, like the limits that I set myself. I'm expanding it every single day. And that's why it literally saved my spiritual life, my spirit, because every time something happens in my life where I feel devastated, where I feel shattered or broken, I go there and I immediately feel like a relief. It's the people who are there, but it's also the way I show up. I show up there for myself, to grow, to tune within myself, to expand not just my consciousness, but also my abilities. And it's such a powerful thing that I just feel like everybody should do it. But of course, the reason why I'm sharing this with you is that it's so important that you find something in your life that kind of gives you that opportunity and possibility, that no matter what you go through, that you can utilize that you can do that and really get through any kind of difficult situation where you just know there is hope at the other end of the tunnel. Last time I did that or said that quote, I really messed it up. So I think see the light at the end of the tunnel. I guess that's the right way to say it. So I encourage you to find something that you're truly passionate about. And if you don't know what that is, try out different things. Go out there and just try things out. I didn't know I'm going to like Wing Chun or Shaolin Kung Fu until I tried it out. And then I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is what I want to do. And it's really not as a way of me, like the way I look on the outside of the skills that I developed over the years. I barely ever share anything about Kung Fu. Like I don't show like the videos, I don't show pictures or anything. Like because it's the reason I'm going there is not to look good or to share it with the world and like get kind of like likes for it. I do it for me. I do it for me because I just love it so much. And it has helped me through such dark times. Even in the beginning of this year, there was nothing I wanted to do after the breakup. There was literally nothing. The only thing I said I'm going to go to that I know is going to get me through this difficult and hard situation was Kung Fu. It was one of the first places I went to when I came back to Berlin after the holidays. I went there not because I wanted to, not because I felt like, ooh, I'm going to go and train and learn something new. No, I went there because I knew from the past that this place is magical. I want to go there. I want to train there for me to reconnect to myself. And every single time I went there in the past few months, I felt different. I can't explain it. It's like, I really can't. There's something that happens when I go there. It feels like it's out of this world. I love sharing this with you because I'm not, saying like everybody should do Kung Fu, even though try it out. Maybe you like it. The reason I'm sharing it really with you is because oftentimes when we go through difficult times, there is something missing that we can connect to besides other people. Because often when we go through those difficult times, we talk to other people about it, we write about it, we like talk and talk and talk more about it. But that very often doesn't really help. Like it's part of the process, but often something is missing. And for me, the thing that helps me most is during the healing process to go and immerse myself in martial arts, because it's not just the physical aspect of it, but it's the reconnecting to myself, reconnecting with my soul, with my heart, expanding my mental state, or however you want to call it, through expanding my physical abilities, going beyond boundaries, beyond limits that I thought were never possible. It's little things like lifting my leg a little bit higher than the day before, where it's like, I've never had my leg up that high. Like, there's little things, very little things. And I'm learning so much from Kung Fu that I can apply for life, like the little progress, being consistent. You're always going to be a student. Like, you can always, there's no real mastery of life. There's always something new that you can learn. There's always growth. And the added benefit, as I mentioned, is that in dark times, it is one of the lights that I can connect with, where I'm like, this gives me hope. This gives me strength. It gives me courage. And it gives me a community of people who are creating that kind of energy together. And I just love that. So I encourage you to find something that you truly connect with, that you can learn from, not just for the physical aspect, but also for life. And again, if you go for martial arts, do it. It's fun. It's so much fun. That's why I'm encouraging you to do it, because it's fun and I just love it. But of course, don't feel pressured. Whatever you want to do, whatever you feel is right for you, do that. No hard feelings if you are not a fan of Kung Fu after me sharing all the benefits of what I've gained from it. But the essence of everything that I'm sharing today is the things the life lessons that I learned through Kung Fu, where it's really about expansion, about reconnecting with yourself, recentering, no matter what you're going through. And that when you are going through a hard time, that sometimes or most of the time, it's very important that you have something that lifts you up, that helps you strengthen physically as well as mentally. Because during my breakup, I stopped eating for a couple of days. Physically, I went downwards a lot. So it's when I started Kung Fu again, I was regaining that kind of life energy. And as my dance teacher in acting school said once, energy creates energy. Through movement, we can really create the life energy that we need to get through any kind of difficulty and through any kind of heartbreak or darkness. And whatever that is for you, I encourage you to go for it. Don't hold back. Don't talk yourself out of it. Remind yourself why you started in the first place, and then go and do it. I'm absolutely convinced from my own experience, that if you can connect to something like that, it can save your life like you are a cat. Like you have 9 lives, and every time you feel like you're going through a dark night of the soul, you can re-emerge like a phoenix from the ashes. All right, thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like, share, and comment, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, lots of love and a big hug.